What's up, internet? Welcome back. This is Loser22. A Sega classic is making a return, and it's not coming from Sega themselves. It's another example of how Sega has made the decision to license out their IP instead of making the games themselves. Is this a smart move for Sega, and should we hope for more returning IP in the near future? But before I get into it, let me just remind you guys that this is a forum discussion video, so if there are any Sega games that you want to see come back in this way, let me know down below, and subscribe for more content. The original Sega mascot, Alex Kidd, is getting a remake of his game from the Master System, and this will be called Alex Kidd in Miracle World DX. This game is not going to be developed by Sega or even published by Sega themselves. Instead, it's going to be licensed out to Merge Games, the same team that published Streets of Rage 4. It's been 30 years since we've last seen a game starring the character Sega first touted as their official mascot. Well, it was more an unofficial mascot, but still counts. My experience with the original Alex Kidd game was on a compilation pack for the PSP. It was a Sega Genesis collection, Alex Kidd being one of them. My initial response was, I can see why Sonic instantly replaced him. But if this game did not have the rock, paper, scissors mechanic, this game would have been a perfect classic, because literally that was the only thing I did not like about the game. That being said, I would still recommend this to anyone interested in classic games. So I'm excited for this remake, and I can't wait to see what other remakes are in store for us. Instead of using up the resources to develop or remake old games, they're passing the job off to other developers and other publishers. As much as I would prefer Sega to make their own games, I understand that just by licensing their IP to other developers who are more enthusiastic about the IP will in effect make better games, and Sega does not have to lift a single finger. I even noticed the lack of marketing towards the games that fit this criteria. If you're wondering what are some of the games that I'm talking about, they are Panzer Dragoon Remake, Streets of Rage 4, and Shenmue 4. And hell, I think Bayonetta even counts in this regard. It just so happens that the publisher happens to be Nintendo, the publisher of Bayonetta 2 and what's going to be 3. Maybe I'm missing a few games. If I am, please let me know, because I would like to actually cultivate a list that makes this more understandable. Honestly, if you look at the list alone, this is actually a good idea. These games that I have listed have all been generally well regarded, and even though Sega did not lift a finger to make them, they actually are getting positive exposure just for them existing. Sega should look at this and think to themselves, this is a good idea. Try to find some other developers that are enthusiastic for their own games. See if they're qualified and give them access. Let them make the games that they want to make, and these games might end up being the games players want to play. So if there is a Sega IP that you're thinking about that has been neglected for more than 15 to 20 years, then let some developers know that they need to contact Sega to get them made. Of course, not just any developer. Make sure to get the ones that are actually already making the fan games that Sega needs to make. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think that this is a good idea for Sega? Are there any games you'd like to come into fruition through this process? Let me know down below. And if you like discussion videos, much like this one, subscribe and I'll be back with more.